Hello. I was rather pleased to be directed to the Ready to Harvest channel, and particularly to the video that Joshua's just done on the Anglican Catholic Church. And I thought I'd just give a little bit of a response to that. Largely, I don't really want to say very much because, to be honest, it was spot on. I think we've got in Joshua a man who clearly does his homework and understands the situation. What was slightly less positive were the comments, which always seem to be written by people who have no real desire to understand what's being said, no real desire to understand the rudiments of the denomination. And so we got the usual comments that we shouldn't be allowed to call ourselves Anglican, we shouldn't be allowed to call ourselves Catholic, and the usual very tedious rhetoric going round and round and round in circles again, which, as if you're a regular viewer to our channel, you know I've already covered all those bases. I don't need to say any more about the commentators. What I do perhaps want to point out is that the Anglican Catholic Church is international, and I think Joshua being a stateside, obviously that's where his focus is, and so of course the go-to place for understanding the Anglican Catholic Church is naturally the Archbishop's book, Anglican Catholic Faith and Practice, which is it's a little book, not too little because it's not a vast tome, nor is it a pamphlet. It's a little book. It's quite readable, and you can put it in a bag and take it with you. So clearly that's what Joshua's done, and of course it's full of I think what I would call beginning points. It's not intended to be a comprehensive book. It's intended to be a book that says this is where we start. This is where we begin with this, that, and the other. There are lots of other little bits. Let's say focus mainly on what's happening on the States. And of course, in the United States, that's where the continuing Anglican movement started. But that doesn't mean to say we are an American church. Now, you only have to look at the diocese, not only in the United Kingdom, but in Australia, in Africa. You can look at an entire province. We've got an entire province in Africa under a separate archbishop. We've got a diocese in Pakistan. So what you see in the American expression is not quite what's happening around the world. You'll see, particularly here in the United Kingdom, where we really are a church that is a missal-based diocese. We use the missals more or less exclusively for Mass. Of course, we use for the morning and evening prayer, we use a Book of Common Prayer. That's the standard practice. So if you walk into a church for Matins or Evensong, you will find precisely the same service as in the 1662, because there's no difference between the 1662 Evensong than there is from the 1549. So you'll have something that's quite recognisable. But we're more or less exclusively using the missals. Occasionally the 1928 American Book of Common Prayer comes out. But that, as I've said, that's not our prayer book. That's the Americans' prayer book. And we can't be expected to use it in the same way that they do. Joshua also spoke about universalism in Anglican Catholic Church. As far as I know, there are only really two priests in the entirety of, sorry, three priests. I've just thought of an extra, sort of someone else. I can only think of three priests among the entirety of the Anglican Catholic clergy who subscribe to universalism in one form or another. It's not the majority viewpoint, and I think, to be honest, the book by David Bentley Hart, I think, gives an unfair picture of what's going on, because he seems to suggest that the early church was absolutely universalist, and I don't think that's true at all. I think Father Farley of the Orthodox Church shows quite clearly that that's not true. So there are the number of universalists is tiny, but are they heretical? And that's a slightly more problematic question, because I think what the position of universalism shows is that perhaps things aren't as clear-cut as we expect them to be. And I think more dialogue needs to be spoken of about that direction. But I think the majority of us are not universalists. That we do believe that there is an eternal hell. The door is shut from the inside, as it were. That's that's the fact of the ACC, that we are not a bunch of universalists. I noticed that I did notice a mistake that Joshua made, because my dear friend Father Anthony Chadwick is not in the Diocese of the United Kingdom. He was, but because he lives in France, and it's difficult to cross the Channel, he's actually part of the Deanery of Europe, with Father Vassen, who is in the Netherlands. And of course, in Europe, we do have a very strong relationship with the Nordic Catholic Church, and so if we do find any people in the Anglican Catholic who want to be part of the Anglican Catholic Church in Europe, then what we would do is we would suggest that they talk to the Nordic Catholic Church first and see if they can find some provision there, so that as our relationship develops, hopefully we can become a more united, a more organically united body. So we have that understanding of communion now. So that's really all I wanted to say, because it was so funny, because Joshua, of course, speaking about the Anglican Catholic Church as an introduction, it made me rewatch one of my first videos on what is Anglican Catholicism. And my goodness, I don't like watching myself at the best of times, but I think the time I've spent in front of the camera, I've certainly changed markedly from the rather stiff and earnest individual that you'll see in that video. But hopefully you've now got, in Joshua, you've got another introductory video, and you can pop along and see perhaps a view from the outside, because and that's always a good thing, to see what we can see from other people's viewpoints. So I'm very grateful to Joshua for putting that video together, just to give that sort of outsider's view. But we are tiny. Even in America, we're not a large denomination. Even with the reunification process, we're not a large denomination. And some people will say that we will only be known by some of the more grumpy aspects of our existence. But I rather think that there is so much more to the Anglican Catholic Church. We're seeing much more studious priests, and what I'm hoping is that as we develop, as we grow, we become spiritually formed as well as intellectually formed. That we take care of our souls, we take care of the souls around us through the Anglican method. And I mentioned that a week or so ago, but the Cistercian method of being very focused on our development, our growth, our stricter obedience to office, mass, and study. That we continue to pray and work, and have that Benedictine understanding of things. I don't quite know what the future holds. Sometimes I think, oh, are we going to fizzle out? Or are we going to suddenly shoot up in numbers? Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. That's something I firmly believe in, and I think keeping faith is more important. Keeping our principles, keeping our commitment to holiness and to purity of heart. I think that's, whatever the future holds, that's our direction for us anyway. So my prayer is that we grow ever more steadily, and perhaps you might like to think about what you can do to join us. And if you've got ideas, of course, we'd be lovely to hear from you. If there isn't a church near you, then think about how is it possible for you to start building a house group yourself. Don't feel that you need to sort of wait for a priest to come and be able to say mass for you. Get yourself a group of friends, pray the offices, study, learn, become affiliated with us, talk to us, talk to your bishop, wherever you are. I mean, I'm not just saying just do it in the United Kingdom. Do it wherever you are. Find your nearest bishop and start a conversation with them, and see about how you can find ways of committing yourself to growth, and who knows? We let God make our future for us based on what we give him. We can't come to our future empty-handed. We have to be able to give something to God for him to grow for us. So, God bless you. God bless you if you perhaps still have trouble with who we are. God bless you that you may see that we are not live action role players. We mean what we say. And that we seek to bless you and to be part of your Christian walk. God bless you if you are seeking Anglican Catholic parish or affiliation with us. God bless you that you may find that through prayer and commitment to prayer, study, and mass. God bless you that his path with us may become clear. God's path with us may become clear. And God bless you and God bless Joshua for his remarkable work. God bless you all that as part of God's church, we may bask in his light and know his way more clearly. God bless you, and please pray for me.